everyone, once again. Welcome to a brand new episode of On VJ's playlist. And today episode is just very special actually because I have with me a young artist who is creating magic in a genre that is seldom explored by Indian artists today. Firstly, Chirag Todi, welcome to On VJ's playlist. How are you doing? For our viewers who are watching, Chirag Todi is a singer-songwriter independently as himself, but he's also the lead guitarist of his jazz and progressive rock outfit from Ahmedabad named Heat Singh. Welcome, Chirag. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. But how are you doing?
Well, as great as it can be. But congratulations are in order, Chirag. You have just put out your second album, which is called Bangers Only. And I am pretty intrigued by the name. So before anything else, I need to ask you this. Why Bangers Only? Like, is it a sort of self-exclamatory title that, yes, the listeners who are going to be listening and streaming your album can expect nothing but magic?
Actually, it's funny, I was figuring out like for the longest time I was trying to figure out the name of the album. I'm really bad with names, you know. Yeah, usually like for songs. So usually for songs it's like much easier because I can like just pick a word from the lyrics or the meaning or some some subject. But at this album like together it was very difficult to like come up with a unique name that describes it because every song is very different from each other, both lyrically and in terms of genres and collaborators and everyone. So I was sitting with my best friend. I was like chilling with him on my terrace one day, and then he like randomly suggested he's the one who actually suggested to keep it bangers only, and I like in the beginning I just laughed at it. But then like slowly like that kind of like grew on me, you know. I'm like, yeah, that's actually true. Like because I believe that every song is a banger. And if I'm not the one calling it bangers only, then who will, you know? So I so I like I'm just like going all out with confidence and calling that album. Yeah.
And your best friend's name is
His name is Karan Tiwari. Yeah,
Karan
he's
Tiwari.
also a musician. Yeah, he is based at Ahmedabad. We both studied in college together. Yeah.
So thank you, Karan, for that kind of belief in your friend. And clearly, he's taken your suggestion very seriously. Chirag, Bangers Only has been a culmination of singles you've been putting out, I believe, since 2022. It started with Love Nobody with Ramya Pothuri and Ranj. You followed it up with Paper Boats with Gauri and Aksha. Then came Spice Lemonade, which starred Aditi Sehgal. For our viewers who are watching, is also known as Dot, who appeared in the film The Archies. And interestingly, Santana Roach also collaborated with you. She featured in the music video of the song. And I think, the album has come out now in August 2024, but prior to that, already six songs from the album were put out. So was it a conscious effort on your part to reveal the layers, unravel the layers of your album one by one?
So like I always knew that these songs are going to be a part of an album, and the idea was to initially start off with a few singles, but then like it was taking a lot more time than expected to like complete the album, and I wanted to keep the consistency going, you know. So honestly, like that's the reason why like it got prolonged, and I ended up putting a lot more singles than anticipated. But because I believe like as an yeah, as an artist, independent artist, like consistency is more important than
Ah.
than releases like once in a while. So that's what has helped me grow a lot. And yeah, that was the main reason actually. I knew that it was going to be part of the album, but I wanted to just release one singles like any release consistently. Yeah, that's the idea.
I think that also stems from a sort of belief that I've seen a lot of young artists also sort of exercise, where they believe that the more singles that they release, I mean, coming back to what you just said, uh, it gives listeners enough, room to actually listen to each single and actually, grow a certain liking towards each song. And that's how uh, they sort of, cultivate an interest towards or an inclination towards your album. Because many a times what happens now, because we have very low attention span as, as listeners in general, like, I mean, we are talking about an audience, but I think even when it comes to you and me, given the amount of I hate to use the word content, but given the amount of from films to shows to songs, everything that's available in pop culture today, you know, getting singular attention for each piece of art is very, very, challenging. Do you think was that also the reason why you chose the route where you released single after single before putting out your entire album?
Yeah, that's in a way that is true. Like because if I had put out like all the 10 songs directly, like I doubt people would have like like especially new listeners who don't know me would have like actually like gone through every single track and listened multiple times. But because of the initial singles and the traction that it got, like overall like it's a very cross pollination happening between the songs and between the collaborators, audience, and between a lot of things that is actually helping promote each other. Like the previous singles and now it being together as part of the same album. Like I believe it's like helping promote each other and. Yeah, I think that was the main idea from the start. I did something similar for my previous EP as well, Panodrama, where I ended up like compiling single releases together towards the end. So yeah, like that worked. That worked for me well back then, and I wanted to try it out again. And it is, I believe, it is working out well this time too. Yeah.
Interestingly, Bangers Only is a trilingual album where you have 10 songs, out of which 7 are in English, 2 are in
Mhm.
Hindi, and 1 is in Tamil.
Yeah.
How take us through how challenging was it? Like it's I mean, I can't really gauge your judgment about how much you understand or you can interpret Tamil. But what were the what were the interesting takeaways when you decided to sort of up the ante for yourself by exploring three different languages in an album?
Wait, so do you speak in Tamil? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, I actually was born and brought up in Tamil Nadu. I
Oh,
all
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So although I don't speak in Tamil, like I am a Marwari and I speak in Hindi and English mainly. But uh, Tamil Nadu is where I was born, and I studied in Ooty in a boarding school there, in Lawrence School, and that's when
You're a
that's
boarder
when
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You
Hi,
studied.
fellow boarder.
Oh, nice, nice. So yeah, like I mean that experience was like kind of one of the biggest highlights for me in my journey. Like it's because studying in that boarding school in Ooty was very different from all my other schooling experiences, and that's like very memorable for me. And I've always wanted to write about that nostalgic experience. So I thought like what better language to write it than Tamil. So that's why I named that song Ooty Dreams. And like
Ah,
yeah, and
now it
collaborate.
makes sense. Why the Tamil songs is titled as Ooty Dreams? I think now that falls.
Yeah, yeah, true. That's the main reason actually. And I got a chance to like work with MS Krishna once
Yeah.
on his song in Ahmedabad, and I like asked collaborated with him for this track as well in Tamil. Yeah.
So take us through the diverse collaborations that you are bringing through this album, Chirag, because all these musicians are so diverse in what they're bringing to the table, when it comes to their influences, their aesthetics, their methodology. So, how is it working with each one of them, from Ramya Potri to Ranj to Dot to Siddharth Basroor to Chezin? How enjoyable was this and how daunting was this? I'm sure it must have been very, excruciating at one point.
I mean, like for more or less, like for the most part, it was a lot of fun actually. So yeah, because working with every new artist gave me like it was a very different experience. I got to learn how they work. I got to build build a relationship with them, and like I actually like had a lot of fun doing it this way because like initially like you mentioned in the beginning, I also run a band called Heatsink, and there I've been working with the same musicians for over I think 7 years now. So that is like one kind of an experience where I know what to expect and from each musician, and both in terms of musicality and in terms of working styles and everything. But like for these singles and like these songs that I'm doing as a solo artist, I'm taking the liberty to experiment and work with whoever I want to, and that way it's unexpected, it's fun, and like some of these collaborations has been really memorable, and I would love to like collaborate with them again. And In fact, like I released so the Dot and I we released another song together called Bus Station Poetry
Bus
after
station.
Spice Lemonade. Yeah, so that was great to do it because I had a great time collaborating with her. She's a incredible songwriter and a really nice human being, So I and I like we decided from the beginning that yeah, let's do work on another song, and we did made that happen. And I hope we get to work on more songs as well. And so was my experience with a few other artists. Like I had a great time working with Gauri and Aksha. That was
Mm,
like an in-person experience because like a lot of these collaborations were done remotely because we're all in different
yeah.
cities. Yeah, but with few artists like Gauri and Aksha, we got to like be in the same city and record together and
Mm.
tour together as well. So that way, yeah, it's like quite memorable, and I'm still like continuing to collaborate with new artists for my upcoming releases, and I would love to like continue working with some of the artists again and again. So yeah, yeah, that's the thing.
Well, speaking about collaborations and especially collaborators, I think one person who has stuck with you from the very beginning is Pushkar Srivatsal, who's also one half of, Second Sight. And he's been,
Yeah.
with you from your very first release, Desire, which was also one of the
Mhm.
singles from your debut album, Pandroma.
Mhm.
What is it about working with Pushkar and it's like he's quite your frequent collaborator. What is it about working with him that is inspiring, as well at the same time it sort of is challenging? Like it's a challenge that you would like to undertake of always working with him. What is the newness? What is the energy that you both bring to the table?
Right. So like I met Pushkar like back when I just freshly started off making writing songs, and that was like yeah, again like 7 8 years ago I met him for the first time, heard him play, and like I really loved his musicality. And I remember like once I asked him if I can just jam with him and like learn how he goes about playing, and he was very kind enough to you call me home and show me some concepts that he uses and all, and I found that really inspiring. And then what happened was during the lockdown, that's when I actually started collaborating with other artists, right? And that's when I reached out to him asking if he'd like to do a song together, and then he sang Desire, and that was like our first collaboration, and it worked out really well. In fact, everyone in that track was like really professional, and and very like really great to work with. And then what happened was he had offered to like do a remix for one of my other tracks in the EP called Be Easy. And that also like and that's when I discovered his production skills, because I knew him as a performer and a songwriter earlier, but then I think he was also starting off with his production, and he offered to make a remix for that track, and I love that sound, and then I approached him for producing Love Nobody, and that turned out so well that we ended up again doing another track, OT Dreams, together. So yeah, like it's great, like so like I said, like Pushkar is like one of those artists that I would love to keep working with, along with like other producers as well. Like there are other producers in the album as well, like Divyang Arora, Rag Sethi. Rag
Yeah.
Sethi is also my band member from Heatsink, and we've actually known each other for the longest time. Yeah, like because like even before that when I picked up the guitar, that's like I met him like when I just picked up the guitar actually. So yeah, so it's yeah, like Pushkar is one of those artists that definitely gonna keep working with. Yeah.
Because you mentioned Rag Sethi, I think between you, Rag Sethi, and Meera Desai, you have this sweet little sort of a mini collective based in Ahmedabad. You all are always catching up and exchanging footnotes, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Mhm.
what is the chatter about? Whenever you people meet, and what are the footnotes that are exchanged when it comes to music making process?
Like so, yeah, like Meera, Rag and I, we've been part of a band for a long time, and Meera just like shifted to Bombay, and it's now like it's a little different, but we've worked together at least for, I think 5 6 years, and it's been great, between Rag, Meera, and I, like yeah, like we're very comfortable working with each other. We are very good friends. We know what to expect, and yeah, it's like very flawless. It's like one day we decide, okay, let's rehearse for this show, or let's record the song, and then the next minute we like show up at the studio and do it together. It's like it goes very flawlessly, and yeah, and in fact, like our musicalities match a lot,
Yeah.
it's like because interestingly, I actually learned guitar from like for like a year or two. I learned guitar from Rag when I started off in school, and back then he was my teacher, and then we started jamming together and formed a band together, and now we're working together, right? So like that way, like I picked up a lot of musicality from him, and then Meera also like shifted to Ahmedabad, and then we started working together, and our musicality matched greatly as well. And just like working with each other for a while, like really made our chemistry, like working chemistry, really strong. And yeah, yeah, that's so it's very like the ideas are very um, it's like there are not too many contrasts basically going on. We kind like it's very complementary basically. All the ideas that we share, it comes spontaneously, naturally. It's very friendly. It's just complements each other. So yeah, that's the vibe usually. Yeah.
You mentioned that you've been to boarding school in Noti. Where did music fall into the scheme of things for you? And once it did, at what juncture did you realize that your influences or your musicality was largely influenced by jazz? Like that was the genre you wanted to sort of explore.
Right. So in I like started like I went to boarding school at a very early age, like in grade two. Like so second
Oh,
standard, my
that's
parents
very early.
yeah, so my parents sent me because I was actually a very mischievous kid at home, and plus like there was a lot
But
of
you were, but you were 8. Like, isn't that the age to be mischievous?
I guess, but at the same time, there's like a lot of family drama going on. Like we were in a
Wow.
joint family and stuff, you know. So, like, I guess like the main reason was to like keep me away from the drama and educate me well, and all that is all with good intentions. And I'm grateful to my mom for sending me to boarding school at that age, actually. And yeah, so that's when I actually got exposed to Western music because before
Hmm.
that I only listened to like Bollywood and all because my family listens to that. And then when boarding school, like we had, it was both were like like kind of a convent school, so like a lot of hymns and
Yeah.
Christian like music, and then I got exposed to like all the Western pop. We used to watch like VH1 a lot, and you know, so all the popular songs back then, I used to like love listening to those artists. And actually, at that time I did not know how to play the guitar. I used to just sing these songs, and I used to love singing. I actually picked up the piano at that time and just dabbled around a little bit with that. And I was like I developed my passion during that time, you know, and like passion for music. And but what happened was that like after like grade 8, when I shifted to Ahmedabad, my voice started cracking because of the adolescence transition, and I stopped like liking my new voice. Like it was hard for me to accept that, and plus a change of environment and everything what made me like kind of reluctant towards like singing in general. So
Oh.
that's when I actually picked up the guitar and channeled all my musicality into that. And I got great teachers, you know, and like so Rag was one of those teachers who actually introduced me to jazz music here, and so that's how I got into jazz. So like it started off with like just singing, playing piano, listen to Western pop songs. But then like when I actually picked up the guitar, that's when I got introduced to jazz, blues, and I started listening to a whole lot of that era, you know, and then I pursued it further, learned from other teachers as well, and learned a lot from YouTube, listening to a lot of those songs and just exploring it myself. And that's when I got serious about it and started writing songs in that genre. So yeah, that's the journey. Yeah.
So Rag has really been a huge influence when it comes to musicality. But coming to my next question, Chirag, you have toured extensively across the country. You also played at NH7 Weekender and Lollapalooza. If I'm not wrong, you technically don't really have a major management or any major label sort of backing you. A lot of your efforts in establishing who you are today in the independent music industry is all by yourself. So for a lot of artists, a young artist especially, would want to know like how they can navigate the space where they also see themselves bagging slots at all these big ticket festivals. So what would be the one you know piece of advice that you would like to give them?
Right, like like you said, I'm completely self-managed, and I've been doing it for years now, running the band to running my solo project. It's like it's been like a little like I feel like in the initial 5 years at least, it's hard, I guess, for every artist to like establish themselves, to like get recognized, to release songs, to get gigs. So the idea is to like just keep again like doing it consistently and keep pitching, because I don't come from like a background with a lot of connections or a lot of money or anything, right? So it's I had to like do everything manually, like just keep like finding emails of people who organize these things, or like talking to other artists and asking them how they went about it and trying to get references from them, and just like being active on social media and see what's going on and try to like get connected to people on social media. So I just kept doing that a lot, like cold emailing, cold messaging, and that's how like it started one step at a time, right? I first like did a few gigs in like clubs and all. Like I started off with Piano Man Jazz Club and played in like other venues in Bombay, Bangalore, and then slowly like that built and like release more songs as well. And even collaborating with other artists actually helped me get recognized, tap into their audience, and then eventually like just like early this year. I got the chance to like finally play at NH7 and Lollapalooza. That was like the biggest. That has been my dream. That's one of the main reasons I've been working towards all of these things over the last 5 years. And I'm finally like I'm glad that I got that stage to perform at, and I feel like it's possible for any artist to get there. Like if I could do it, like I feel like anyone can, and it's all about the drive and the consistency and the initiative to honestly yeah, like to go about it. Yeah.
Another notable achievement recently is being inducted as a voting member for the Recording Academy. Would you like to take us through how did that happen?
Yeah, actually, so last year, I had applied, and I was like really, excited when I got the email saying that I got accepted as a member, because
Yay.
obviously Grammys is like one of the, I think it is the biggest platform for any musician, right? And I was like honored to like get that, like be a part of that community of voting members, and like connect with other members across the globe. And that's when I got like I got a bigger picture of what's going on across the globe, because earlier my focus was just inside India, my exposure was just that. And now like I'm starting to understand like how other musicians work outside the country, and that it's like it's still fresh. It's just been a year, and I like got the chance to like submit my own songs. I got a chance to like listen to other people's songs, like vote for them, and like it's been an interesting process, and I'm excited to see where this platform takes me. Yeah, yeah, that's the that's the thing. Yeah.
Chirag, I was watching one of your recent interviews, and over there you said that every musician is somewhere an entrepreneur. Uh, how would you explain that?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm an independent artist, and I have to like manage everything from like not just running the projects and getting gigs, but also handle like the entire business side of things, and to make it sustainable, right? Like, so that's the so initially when in artists don't have managers, it is like even when they do, like it's always important to be an entrepreneur too, because we are kind of self financing it, and figuring out the entire model, right? Like especially like if you're planning out a tour, it's important to like break even, make profits. It's important to like make sure all the payments go through, and like all accounting stuff and all of that, and even for song releases, like figuring out all the royalties and all the investment the project takes, so it's like that's a whole it's not easy at all, especially if you don't have a support from like a family or a label or something, so yeah, that's the main reason why I said that. Yeah.
So, does that imply that you also have a day job, like a day hustle to sort of help you sustain?
Yeah, so like for the last 5 years, I did a day job to yeah, like sustain myself basically, and luckily like I got some both the jobs that I did were like a little flexible in terms of like I could like travel when I got gigs and stuff. So that way I'm glad I picked or like got jobs which was a little flexible. But then like I quit that like early this year, and now I'm trying to like do music full time. So
Okay.
I'm keen, I am like keen on like getting more work opportunities within music, and eventually like shift to Bombay as well. So I am like figuring out those things right now. But yeah, honestly, like the first 5 years of doing a day job is what actually helped me sustain myself. Yeah.
Well, your music has brought you in close quarters with the likes of A.R. Rahman, Clinton Cerejo, and Mikey McCleary. If I may ask, what has been the most cherished uh, piece of advice or a compliment that you have received from the three aforementioned names?
Um, I mean, like I don't know if I remember the exact words, but yeah, like I was like just honored to like have like A.R. Rahman sir like listen to my composition. That was like one of my first compositions like that I wrote back in college, and I released it. Like that was the first recording that we put out as Heat Sync, and that directly got reached Rahman sir's ears, and he loved it, and invited us to like to his studio, and we got an award from him and got to work on a song with him. So that experience, like that really meant a lot, because that was like at an early stage in my career, and not many people get that, and
Yeah.
so that really meant a lot and pushed me to like keep doing this. And also like Clinton Cerejo, he is an incredible person to work with, and he's a really nice person, So he also like really enjoyed working on our tracks, because it was our musicalities was very different from the other winners, or like the other commercial projects that he usually does, right? So he like it was great to work with him, and like receive appreciation from him, and feedback from him. So yeah, like both of these mentors actually really like pushed me to like go dive in deeper at an early stage in my career. Yeah.
Chirag, one of my favorite questions a little before we conclude this lovely interview of ours. Who are some of the most inspiring Indian independent talents that you love listening to at leisure when you're not making music, when you're just unwinding after a long day at work? And you're not supposed to mention any of your collaborators or your friends who are in the, in the
Right.
space, anybody apart from that. And not anybody, rather, but other
India.
inspiring names that you love listening to.
Got it. So, yeah, in the independent scene, like some of the artists I love are, yeah, like Thermal Quarter. Like they've always been an
Hmm.
inspiration. And then Black Stripe Blues. I mean, but I've like in a way collaborated with Warren, so that wouldn't count. But Tejas Menon, I love listening to him. He's an incredible songwriter. Um, and then who else? Who else who have I haven't collaborated, but I yet listen to. Uh, yeah, I guess like I've like at this point like I've tried to like collaborate with as many artists who I love listening to. So it's hard to pick out the ones who are left out, but I'm sure though they will soon be in my list to of collaborators. So yeah, I think yeah these are the two names as of now. Yeah.
Lastly, Chirag, what are the big plans to ensure that bangers only reach more years?
That's the that's a little challenging. Like I'm still like so I have like I'm doing the same drill even today, like I like when I started off, I used to make content, email people, ask people like share it with everyone and ask them to share. Doing the same drill even today, and that's the plan, honestly. Like it's going to continue doing it, and at the same time, like I am like planning a launch gig, like album launch gig in Bombay on the 22nd at G5, 22nd of October at
Oh,
G5A. So that is something that's going to be a special where I get to, meet people offline and, play my music to them. I've also like done few like listening sessions or like intimate listening sessions this time, which was very like for the first time, I tried it out and I had a great experience. Sharing my album before it got released to an audience, and I'm going to try that out as well in other cities. And Yeah, like I'm now like trying to focus more on offline experiences and like connect with audience in person, apart from all the online promotion that I usually do. Yeah.
Well, since you have already, spilled the beans about the date and when you are likely to bring Bangers Only to Mumbai, I will consider myself invited to the gig, or I will land up there
Definitely,
myself.
definitely you
But
are invited.
but thank you so much, Chirag, for taking the time out and for speaking to me at length about Bangers Only and about your journey so far as an artist. And I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors, onwards and upwards, and to more amazing music.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me again. I had a really great time chatting with you, and I'm looking forward to others listening to this episode. So, yeah, quite excited. Yep.